Good morning, everyone. Today we'll have a discussion class on MRSA, that is methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. So now let's see what is MRSA. So first, introduction part. So let's see in the introduction part. When Staphylococcus aureus develop reduced susceptibility to the beta-lactam class of antibiotic, it becomes known as MRSA. Beta-lactam antibiotics includes the penicillin such as methicillin, dicloacillin, neficillin, and oxacillin. MRSA is also resistant to agents such as clindamycin, erythromycin, tetracycline, cephalosporins, and at times sulfamethoxazole, trimethoprim. So here MRSA, methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, is a group of microorganism, gram-positive microorganism. So here in what happened in MRSA infection, it is caused by Staphylococcus aureus bacteria, which I already have told you. It's a group of gram-positive bacteria. In MRSA infection, most are typically occurs when there is a cut or break in the skin. Here, this organism, the portal of entry is either break of the skin like open wound or any injury, cut wound, cut injury. Through this, they enter the body, or from our respiratory tract also they can enter, like from the nose, throat, mucous membrane, and it can also goes into the lungs also. Whole of the respiratory tract they can invade into our body. So in MRSA, it is also a very dangerous and can be spread through direct contact with a person who has the infection. And here in MRSA, this group of microorganism is also resistant to some of the medicines, like I have already mentioned: methicillin, dicloacillin, neficillin, clindamycin, erythromycin, tetracycline, cephalosporin. This group of microorganism is also resistant to this antibiotic. So if a patient is having MRSA, then if we give this group of antibiotic, then it will be no use of, because these microorganisms are resistant to this certain antibiotic. So now we'll see the implications of MRSA infection. So here a sick patient contracting an MRSA infection can develop life-threatening infections such as pneumonia, septicemia, and endocarditis. So I have already mentioned that the portal of entry is the break of the skin, like cut of the skin, open wound, or it can be from the respiratory tract also. If it is from the respiratory tract, then it affects the lungs also. Pneumonia, septicemia, and endocarditis. Through this invasion from the portal of entry, it will goes to our lung also, and also all the body systems slowly they will start invasion. And next is the risk of death in patient with MRSA has been found to be 3 times greater than with other hospital acquired infection. So here what happened is that MRSA is not only an institutional problem. Now MRSA has leading a major health problem in the healthcare service provider also, as well as healthcare personnel, and as well as for the patient also. And it has been found that those of having hospital acquired infection, that is MRSA is more in number. So now we will see where is MRSA found? Where we can found this methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus, this bacteria, this organism, where it can be found. So let's see. It can be found individually, like skin. I have already mentioned skin, mucous membrane, wounds, open wounds, or patient to patient, from the hospital, and even ourselves. Even the nurses also can carry. Among the nurses also, this MRSA, we can carry this MRSA, not only the patient. So, and in the environment also, like linen, doorknobs, tables, blood pressure curbs, anywhere, everywhere. So this is also a airborne. So it can be in the patient's bed also. So hygiene, maintenance of hygiene is very important. So next, how is MRSA transmitted? We will see the how this MRSA is transmitted from one person to another person. So here, first is the direct contact. In the direct contact, we can see that transmission takes place when MRSA is transferred from one colonized or infected person to another person. This can occur through skin to skin transfer. Example, so I have already mentioned you that from the skin also, or from the respiratory cough out droplet, it can be transferred, or the discharge from the wound also, if the MRSA is present. And with the bare hand, if we touch, and if suppose we have the cut or the injury in our hand, then we touch the discharge of the patient from the wound, then it can also be transmitted. So example, touching, or when blood or other body fluids from one individual directly enters another individual's body through the mucous membrane or a break into the skin. And next point is indirect contact. Transmission takes place when MRSA is transferred on a nurse's hand or through a vehicle, such as contaminated objects that are transiently contaminated. Example, blood pressure cuff. So the indirect, not only face to face or person to person we can get it, but also from other objects which is available near the patient who is having MRSA, or the person who is having MRSA, like blood pressure cuff. Suppose if we measure the blood pressure of a MRSA positive patient, then if again without maintaining proper hygiene, if we check BP again for another patient, then this is also a indirect transmission. So now we will see the chain of infection. First in the chain of infection is the agent, this MRSA. The agent is the MRSA and reservoir. Then portal of exit, transmission, portal of entry, and then host. This is an ongoing circle. The microorganism will invade to our skin, then there will be reservation of the microorganism, then slowly they will enter to our body through the cut or the any wound or like respiratory tract. Then it will start colonization, it will start multiplication, then again it will transmit to another patient, and then it will start transmitting from one to another from direct contact, or it can be from indirect contact. So here the main focus is that what we have to do is in the chain of infection is that breakout of the transmission. Like in the breakout of the transmission, the chain, the whole of the chain, we have to like MRSA, the agent, the whole of the microorganism we cannot kill or we cannot just subside, but we can stop the transmission by doing a proper hygiene, PPE, maintaining of PPE. So this is also like this MRSA is also a main health problem leading, like now coronavirus COVID-19 is also a very like pandemic, very serious. Every country is facing this. So the main point, the main focus is like we have to stop the, or we have to break the transmission from one to another by maintaining social distance in the society, in the community, gathering of peoples we have to stop. And in hospital, the main part is using of proper PPE, wearings of masks, cap, gloves, gowns, disposable gowns, and proper hygiene, isolation technique, barrier nursing technique we have to maintain. So here in the chain of infection, an agent is, I already told you, the MRSA, the group of microorganisms, they are the agent, and transmission is contact with contaminated individual, environment, or object. So I have already mentioned about this. And susceptible hosts, a patient with reduced defenses, those patients who have low immune system, like those who are already compromised with their immunity, like HIV patient, hepatitis patient, they are like already compromised to their immune system, so obviously they will be having a low immunity. And here the main focus, breaking the chain of infection. So eliminated the agent, treat with antibiotics. So treat with the antibiotic agent. So those drugs which is not resistant to MRSA, only those antibiotic can be given to the patient. So I will be mentioning that antibiotic in the treatment part. So, and the important part is breaking the transmission. 100% compliance with hand hygiene and contact precaution. So maintaining of hand hygiene and the wearing of PPE. Susceptible hosts, promote optimal nutrition and hydration and prevent skin breakdown. So we have to maintain our immune system, boost up immunity, boosting immunity, like in the morning we can do the yoga, we can eat healthy diet, and prevention of dehydration. We should not keep our throat dehydrated, or we have to avoid any cut or any injury in the skin. And now elements of routine practice. So there are some elements which we have to practice to prevent this MRSA transmission. First is points of care risk assessment, PCRA. Hand hygiene, personal protective equipment, education, like education we can give to the patient and as well as to the ward also, as well as to the family member also. The consequences of MRSA, like the direct, the indirect transmission we can teach the patient, as well as the hygiene practice also. And environmental controls, cleaning of equipments after any procedure doing with the patient, we have to clean in proper manner. Environmental cleaning, patient placement, like suppose after the one patient is discharged, then if we have to receive one new patient, then we cannot keep with the same bed. So we have to prepare, we have to clean all the environment, linens, everything. After that only we have to receive a new patient. Then management of linen, disease and waste, safety. So needle prick injury, I have already taken the class of needle prick injury also. So everyone have to follow the rules regarding handling of needles. Sources control, patient flow, respiratory hygiene, cough etiquette, visitor management, aseptic technique. So these all are included under hygiene. Next we will see is that how to prevent the transmission of MRSA. So this I have already mentioned about hand hygiene, wearing of PPE, use of proper segregation, dustbin, color coded system we have to maintain. And medical treatment is infection with MRSA are treated only